It was just a walk to work. Less than a mile. 9/10 of a mile to be exact. But that quiet walk, in sneakers, on a familiar street, would unravel everything. Because when I left that morning, I didn't say a word. Not because I was hiding anything. Not because I was lying. Just because, well, what was there to say? My bike had a flat. I couldn't fix it. So I walked. Simple, harmless, rational. But to my mom, it was a betrayal. And by the end of the night, she was calling me untrustworthy, questioning if I deserved a job, questioning if I deserved a car. All because I didn't tell her I was walking instead of biking. And in that moment, as my phone lit up with a storm of messages, I realized this wasn't about the bike. This was about control, trust, independence. This was about growing up. And what happens when the people who raised you aren't ready to let go? I'm 17, no car, still in high school, living at home, but working steadily at a job, just 9 miles from our front door. We live in a good area, low crime, quiet streets, the kind of place where neighbors still wave and kids ride their bikes past sunset. So when my bike's inner tube popped and I didn't have a spare, I just shrugged, put it in the garage, and walked. I didn't think much of it. I wasn't skipping work. I wasn't asking for a ride. I wasn't making a scene. I solved my own problem, like I thought adults were supposed to. But at 8 p.m. that night, as things started to settle at work, my phone started to blow up. Text after text, angry, confused, accusatory. My mom was freaking out. She was saying she couldn't trust me anymore, that I was dishonest, that because I didn't tell her I was walking, she could no longer trust me with a car or even a job. I remember just staring at the screen, stunned. Was she serious? I hadn't skipped school. I hadn't lied about where I was going. I hadn't done anything reckless. I walked to work, less than a mile, but apparently that was enough to trigger a full meltdown. She said I wasn't being honest, that I had broken her trust, that she couldn't believe me anymore. And then, just like that, she stopped responding. By the time I got home, she was already asleep. And I was left wondering, what just happened? I don't drink. I don't party. I've never snuck out. I've never stolen anything. I've never even had a detention. So why did she react like this? Was it about fear? Was it about control? Or was it something else? Something deeper? The next morning, I tried to bring it up, to ask why this mattered so much. She denied being upset, denied the texts, said she wasn't having this conversation. But the damage was done. She had threatened my future over a walk. And no matter how calm I stayed, no matter how much logic I used, she wouldn't hear it. She wouldn't even look at it. At first, I wondered if she was just a naturally anxious person. Maybe she saw the bike still in the garage and panicked, imagining the worst. Maybe she thought something had happened to me. But that doesn't explain the rage. That doesn't explain the threats. That doesn't explain the way she turned a peaceful, mature decision into a declaration of war. I asked myself over and over again, was I supposed to call her from the driveway? Text her that I was taking one step after another, down the same sidewalk I've walked since I was 6? Is that what she wanted? Or was it just about power? I know I'm getting older. I know that independence is scary, for both sides. But I never expected this much resistance from a decision as small as walking to work. There wasn't even a conversation, just explosions. It made me wonder if she was looking for a reason to snap. If maybe This had nothing to do with the walk, and everything to do with me growing up. Because what I've noticed again and again is this. Every time I ask for help, a ride, a favor, even just basic support, I get a cold glare, silence, or mumbled frustration under her breath, like I'm a burden, an inconvenience. So this time, I didn't ask. I figured I'd make it easier on everyone, handle it myself, show responsibility, and somehow that made things worse. How do you win? I thought I was doing the right thing, taking initiative, making it work. I didn't call out of work. I didn't ask anyone else to solve the problem. I just walked, quietly, responsibly. And now I'm being told I can't be trusted with a job or a car because I didn't ask. It's not about the mode of transportation. It's about being seen. And it made me realize something that hurts more than I want to admit. Maybe my mom doesn't want me to grow up. Maybe she doesn't want me to act like an adult unless I do it exactly her way. Maybe it's not about what I do. It's about how much control she can keep. I wanted to believe we had a relationship based on mutual respect. That as I stepped closer to adulthood, she'd meet me halfway. But this felt like a slap in the face. I expected a conversation, maybe even a suggestion to patch the tire together. But what I got was punishment. Punishment for doing the right thing. Punishment for not needing her. And that's the part that stings the most. She could have asked one simple question. Why didn't you bike today? Instead, she accused, blamed, threatened, and then shut down. Now I'm walking on eggshells, again, trying to figure out when the next outburst will come, wondering if something else small, something as harmless as a decision to take the sidewalk, will be used against me. I'm starting to see the pattern. The bike wasn't the problem. The walk wasn't the betrayal. The betrayal was that I solved something without her. And that scares her more than anything. So, am I the asshole? Was I wrong to make a quiet, reasonable choice? Was I supposed to broadcast every step I take, every change in plan, even when it's as small as walking to work instead of biking? Or is this about something bigger? About the way control disguises itself as care? I didn't yell. I didn't lie. I didn't disobey. I just walked. Because the tube was flat. Because I wanted to get to work on time. Because I didn't want to be a burden. But maybe that was the biggest mistake of all. Maybe in her eyes, growing up is the betrayal. So I ask again, am I the asshole? Sometimes the biggest fights start with the smallest steps. A popped inner tube, a quiet sidewalk, a walk to work. But behind it, fear, loss, control. This story isn't just about a bike. It's about what happens when a child becomes an adult and the parent isn't ready. It's about the moment independence feels like rejection. It's about love that hasn't learned to let go. To the original poster, you didn't do anything wrong. You navigated life with quiet responsibility. You made a smart choice. You handled your business like an adult, and that scares some people. Not because you failed, but because you didn't need them in that moment. To anyone listening, if you've ever felt punished for doing the right thing, if you've ever been made to feel guilty for growing up, you're not alone. This story is for you. And now I ask you, what do you think? Is the walk really the problem? Or is this about fear, masked as protection? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk. Let's listen. And let's remember, growing up shouldn't feel like a crime.